I wouldn't waste your night. We could find another place to ride. Run away, get high. You know you deserve to have the things you like. It's only you and me, no judging. Ain't nobody looking. Let's get up to something. Save a little love for me before you give it all away. Bring your body back to me. Whoa, tell me, pull your heart out for me before you give it all away. Save a little love for me. Save a little love for me. Whoa.
Good morning to our friends on Zoom. First thing, let's introduce Cameron Hod. He's brand new, just got licensed and joined us Friday. So it's his first meeting with us. So welcome, Cameron. We're happy you're here. And then let's start off with all of our birthdays for June. So there are a lot of June birthdays. Kevin and Tara, yours are like this week. And Megan's is today. Who else is in the room? Anyone else in the room? But happy birthday to all of our June birthdays.
Oh,
I know, lots of June birthdays.
October was a busy month for parents.
Always facts. Oh my gosh. All right. The walking club started this morning. Who did the walking club right before this morning? Did anyone? Are they still walking? Oh my God, I love it. So shout out to Grace and Whitney of our wellness committee. So for summer, they're into the walking club right before this meeting. It's great. Get some fresh air, like mood boost, meet some new people that you maybe work with. So that's great. And so just jump on or meet up the front at 9 on Tuesdays. Okay, what else do we have here? Brokers opens. So I'm gonna try to go visit all of these. So let's start with Jael. Will you talk about yours? And this is a cool one because you talk about it.
So we bought this home, Julie and I, our renovation business, from Hannah Laura, off market, and we have been renovating it for the last year. And it was so cool. So cool. So you're not only the agent, it's so used. It's right down the road. We're gonna have just add. I know it says up here for anybody in this office that comes, we're gonna donate to the Carlton Food Pantry. So please come by. I would love your price opinion. We've been spending months looking at the Lake Oswego market, but we are not Lake Oswego experts. So I would greatly love if you guys would be open for it, like sharing what you could list it for. I think we've done the best that we can, but again, we're not local experts. And
this is the biggest one you've done.
Oh, right. By far. Yeah.
What are you listed at?
We're at 1375. And then Julie is there now. She's cleaning and prepping. So she will not meet people at 11:15 out front.
Yes.
So she just wanted me to encourage you guys to carpool. We have a big driveway, it'll fit like 6 or 8 people, but they're kind of stacked in. So she says carpool and see you there.
I love it. Okay, and then right down the road, Veronica, you're having a broker's open. At this is a very unique property. Tell us about it.
It's a Star Wars house. Every time I go there, I find something new. This was an estate. I got it through doing Meals on Wheels, working with the bank. It's not bank owned, there's the trustee and you have to go to the estate. So we had an appraisal done because it's like nothing I've ever seen. It's still passive solar. Hydraulics and the whole, I found the plans when I was there, because there's some woods and things on the space of room. But it actually was designed by an old broker who designed the Wilsonville Town Center Masters. That was the architect back in '85. Really cool. About 4.3 acres.
I love it. No, when they're starting at 11:30 today.
What did it appraise at? The list price. The 1.4.
Okay, so in the teacher meeting,
Very cool.
both really cool houses. So if you guys have broker tours, we'll keep showing them and advertising them to each other. Okay, Whitney, you want to talk about this? The Women's Council of Realtors is having a mini golf tournament on Friday. And
Thursday.
what did I say? Friday. Dear God, where are we? Thursday, this Thursday, 2 days from now, at 9:30 a.m. And we sponsor everyone. We have a hole, so Amber and I will be there saying hello, hanging out, handing out some treats at the hole. But if anyone wants to play, we have openings on our team, and I know Sean Barwick bought a team for Home Staging Northwest. I think he has 1 or 2 openings too. So if you want to play, it's just a fun mini golf, just a commitment of a couple hours, lunch included. Jill?
So 2 things. One, I did this last year. It was so fun. There was one hole where rather than hitting it, once it got, we had to blow it. It's kind of fun.
Did it ever get to move? I don't think it ever moved. I think it was just in there with us.
But the other thing I want to mention is Sean also staged our listing and he's providing tacos at our event today. So
Good call up. So anyone likes to play, go see, and you don't have to pay, we already have teams and I know Sean has spots on screen. So go see Amber or Whitney.
Yep.
Yeah, come play. It's fun. Yeah, Kylie.
Yeah, oh no, it's super fun. I did it like 2 years in a row. I'm actually on the flyer. I was like on. No, it's really fun. They feed you afterwards, and it's a really fun like golf like course too. It's fun.
All right, next up, coffee for closers every Friday. Jenny and Pam's running it 10 to 10:30. We've shortened the time just so it's more like come in, talk about what's going on for the weekend, motivate you. Do you guys want to add anything else?
Yeah.
You just show up. That's it. You have to make you a latte. It's delicious.
Yes, it's the best part. Create topics, so we can talk about anything specific, but problem solving. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good tone of like energy going into the weekend. So I love that. Okay, and then next week, right after the Tuesday meeting, we have if you came to the meeting here where Wally Malesh presented to us all on a more like question-based selling, he's going to do a follow-up workshop. And even if you didn't come to that team meeting, you can still go to this. And it's just all about using better questions in your conversations with clients. And there's a whole workbook, and he's doing this especially for our agents. So he'll be zooming in, but it's right after the meeting next Tuesday. So I hope lots of you guys can stay for that. And it should be really good. Yeah, what else do we have going on? We have lots of good stuff cooking. Okay, next week we have a highest and best use development strategy with Tim Young of Builder Services of Lawyers Title. And he's taught this before, and it was a very popular class. And Tim Young is always great, offers really good knowledge. So this should be a great CE class. So register for that, food, and CE certificates from my Lawyers Title.
You know, I've seen Tim Young do this before, and this is a great way to really dig out your own inventory, find your dig or whatever, create your own inventory opportunities, find parcels, find land, find lots. This class will help you identify which might be attractive to a potential builder, developer, and things of that nature. So you're creating your own inventory. That's kind of the theme.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have lots of good stuff cooking. So this is brought to us from Keller Williams International. So Patrick Ferry, brother of Tom Ferry, is now one part of our MAPS coaching. And so he's going to be teaching a course that we're going to live stream in the training room next week on Thursday at 9:30. I believe it's going to go 9:30 to about 11. And it's all about using AI for your marketing, specifically, and to help differentiate your marketing. So it's supposed to be a really great course. So you can also register on your own if you're not able to come in and just like live stream it yourself. But we will be live streaming it in this room Thursday morning at 9:30. And it should be really good. Okay, and then this is a really cool thing. We paid money for this. So Wes Bachner is a 13-year Navy SEAL who I met when Pam and Laura hosted the Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce meeting here. And then he's also a commercial broker, so some of our commercial guys know him too. But he has this company that is all about like safety and emergency preparedness. So he is going to be teaching us a realtor safety class and all about like survival tricks and like a lot of like brain things of like how do you not have your brain panic in different scenarios. And so it should be really good. And we actually paid for this course from him because we think it's so valuable. So hopefully lots of you guys will join us. It is 2 or 3 Wednesdays from now, not tomorrow, not the next Wednesday, the next Wednesday, June 17th, 11 to 12. It's like the time when we would have a CE class. So, oh yeah, go ahead and register just so we can probably get a better count, but we would love to see lots of you guys there. And I know some of you guys have asked for a realtor safety class as well. So this should be great. And also we can show them how cool we are. So we might want to come do his commercial business over here. And then the summer picnic. So keep RSVPing for that. If you haven't seen the full invite in your email with all the details, let us know. But it's still over a month out, but we just like to mark that calendar for summer because it gets busy. And then we have our Broker Bucks. We have a lot of stuff today. Our Broker Bucks program is back. So if you refer an agent and they come in for a meeting with us, we'll give you $200 for the referral, and that's it. They don't have to actually join us. Nothing has to go on. You don't have to do anything, right? You just have to tell us the name of someone who might be a good fit or somebody who is a good co-broker or a friend of yours at another brokerage. So it's really that simple. Okay, back by popular demand. So we used to have these TMO reports. It stands for Total Market Overview. But then after a while, we were paying for those and we were paying for Altos, and I wasn't sure how many people were using them. So anyways, now we have the TMOs back. We have had people ask for them. So Cole's going to show you where they live, and they come out every Monday.
So they'll be on KWPP Agents under the Resources tab. You'll just scroll down under Agent Tools. It'll be the very last item. All you have to do is give it a click. It'll download the PDF and you'll have access to all the TMO reports right here.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with they're divided out by RMLS area. So each one's an area, and then it's either single family or condos. And then Cole, zoom in on one just so we can kind of show. It shows the different price points and then the number of active listings, pending, days on market, percentage to close. Just again, another way of presenting data to your clients. And I know some people really liked these and have been asking us to get them back. So they're back. We could probably have a class just on TMOs for anyone who wants to like learn how to dig into those a little bit more.
Are these charts downloadable?
Yes, they're PDFs and they update every week. So we get the new ones every month.
Are they branded to us or?
They are not branded to us. It's just, I think the brand, they just say TMO on the top.
Okay.
So
Very cool.
Put your branding on it, but they're just one pagers. So, and of course you can still use the Altos as well, but just another way to present that data. Okay. And then haves and wants. Tara has a Cooper Mountain 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,700 square foot in Beaverton. So if you have a good match for that, reach out to her. And Rachel Neville wants a single level 3-bedroom, 1 to 2 bath in Troutdale for her all cash buyers. So if you have a match for either of those, reach out to them and let's make a connection. Okay, Sheridan and Kylie from Homefront. Tell us about what's going on in mortgages and lending.
Just a little tiny smidgen. But I mean, as you can see, FHA is 599, so that's still a good talking point, below 6%. Nothing too crazy. I think they're kind of trying to broker peace with Iran, but there's some other stuff going on over there. So until they can figure it out, it's kind of where we're at. And again, the bond market's really following the idea of inflation. So, as long as gas prices and everything else is up, bond prices don't like that, which makes our interest rates go even further up. So anyways, it's kind of where we're at. If you guys have any scenarios or anything you want us to price out for you, just let us know and we're here to help.
Thanks, Gary. And yes, you can run different buy downs. I mean, and don't tell yourself the narrative that like, oh, interest rates are high, nobody's buying. Because we just closed out just this morning our last month's books, and you guys had almost $1 million of buying sales, right? This month it was back to like 50-50.
Yeah. So if you've got
People are selling.
Yeah, if you've got listings, you want us to price buy down to like offer for your listings and things like that, just let us know. We also have free 1.0 buy downs for your clients. I think until June 23rd, the 30th, till June 30th, we're offering free 1.0 buy downs for your clients. So anybody new that gets into contract, we can offer them that 1.0 buy down. It's a great tactic, and then they can refinance hopefully by the end of the year is over, and then they can stay in that nice low rate. So
No, that's great. Do they just have to lock in, or get approved by them, or do they have to like close by?
I mean, I'm
Lock
not
it by
getting
then.
pre-approved as soon as possible, but you do have to lock it by June 30th. So you got to be like in contract with something that I can lock by June 30th, and then you're secure. That's great. Yeah.
We did just get another email too recently about somebody doing a free float down. So that means if they lock right now, that if the rates get better over the next 30 days, then they would get that free float down for
So they'll float down to whatever the market is right before.
Say a free or
A free float down. So if you lock in, we'll say at the 6.875, right? And then by 2 weeks into your contract, it's like rates have gotten dramatically better. They will float that down to the market rate that it is right before you close.
they won't float it up.
No. I hope they will not.
Yes, well, that's another great incentive. So it's nice to see the lending places are doing more to help, right? They realize that this is a very volatile market to try to lock in and time it. So
Well, they also, anything you do now is probably refinance here, so they just wanna. They're competitive right now, so.
okay, great. So it's a good time too to like work through different scenarios and not just pull that off the shelf. Okay. What else? Okay, so next week, come back to this meeting because we are kind of starting to announce it, but we're switching as the Keller Williams provided forms tool and sign-in tool, switching from DocuSign to Lone Wolf Transact. And it actually rolled out a couple weeks ago, but we were waiting to make sure the forms all loaded appropriately. There was some different delays with that. So now everything is working. And we are going to talk about this a lot more, how to do it. Kevin already has it working.
Yeah, can I just tell you guys, I somehow got a preview on it, and because I'm special.
We don't know how
More ways than one, guys. And one of those is that I just annoyed them enough to get them to give me the OREF form, and I've been using it for the last month or whenever you first announced it.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks after that, after they actually figured out how to do it, I've been using it, and it is delightful. I really enjoy it. And the cool thing is I haven't been doing it, which I should be, but it links automatically to your what is the thing that we use for transaction? Command. That's right. I mean, command is so terrible anyways. But it links, so you can link it right to your command so that when documents are signed, like a PSA, it goes right in, addendums go right in, so your filing is a lot smoother. So you don't like forget it.
Right. And I mean, I've played around with it a little bit so far too. And
Well, DocuSign might do that too, but it's cooler, okay? It's called Lone Wolf. It's better.
yes. And for those of you
I just hate DocuSign.
it's not the exact same as zip forms, but Lone Wolf owns zip forms. So Transact is the full
Like submitting and do our like integrating into our command. So if you're familiar with zip forms, you'll recognize the layout and stuff. But we'll be going through that in detail next week. If you want to start to play around on your own, we'll send out some instructions and things like that. Honestly, it's really easy, but it will be important if you are using DocuSign to do a couple of things, and not like tomorrow, but like over the next month and a half, 2 months, to download all of your documents out of DocuSign, because it will be going away, and to start using Lone Wolf Transact. If you are using a paid form of zip forms, that can just transfer over and you won't have to pay anymore into Lone Wolf Transact. If you are using SkySlope, then just nothing changes. That's still what it is, right? But if you're using DocuSign and DocuSign Rooms, which a lot of you guys are, you will need to switch. But honestly, Lone Wolf Transact is better, and we have a lot more flexibility from our management side. We'll be able to have all of our KWPP forms in the folder right on there. They're all in there now, except for our broker demand, because it had some financial information. So there's some additional security protocols they have to go through. But it'll be easier, to be honest, than DocuSign. So we're excited about it. But come to the meeting next week and we'll really dive in.
I was impressed with that testimonial. Yeah.
You drove off the cliff when the dragons come in.
The roller coaster of emotions with this, okay?
Turn out so good. So speaking of Kevin, both of you come up first.
Welcome, everybody. For my presence, you are welcome.
Oh my gosh. So we have some bittersweet news. Yeah, want to tell everyone? We don't tell.
You want me to tell?
And this is going to be the UFC headliner at the White House. See that?
Welcome, everybody. America.
Cameron is going to be moving all the way across the country to Atlanta.
Georgia.
Because
It's a real slide.
that's easy.
Yes.
However, Cameron claims he has a lot of business here, so he's still going to be around 50% of the time.
Cameron claims that he's going to fly back and forth between Atlanta.
Oh my gosh. So Cameron's going to still stay on as our commercial managing director, but we are bringing on Kevin as our co-commercial managing director.
Step, what do we think?
Look at your facial expressions. That's the best part about it.
Oh, the problem is those are real pictures.
Well, this is some of your best work.
But it really is.
So we are excited. Our commercial agents are thriving, we're growing. Cameron's gonna do more with commercial too, like maybe KW commercial and some other things. And Kevin's gonna be our like local commercial managing director, leading the meetings and things like that. So you guys want to say any more words?
We're excited.
We are very excited. It'll be fun.
We've ordered that in poster size.
I hope so.
Is there a second one?
There's put the second one up. It's way better.
In the next 6 weeks.
Wow.
We're only in the
That's very exciting. So round of applause.
Don't worry, I won't be that early.
Georgia, if you want to buy a house.
Cam, don't go far. I'm
Oh, yeah.
We have a commercial minute for healthcare today.
Okay, we'll do the other one at the very end. Guys, healthcare today. I am pretty excited about this topic, just in general. I've done a decent amount of medical office, pseudo healthcare, but mostly like lower scale stuff. So there is a whole world of healthcare that's like bio, life sciences, like very large labs. That there's an entire institutional, like there are REITs that invest like almost predominantly in, they call it life sciences. So there's a very large side and sector of this, but there's also a local side of the healthcare world that I get really excited about, because you can take, $1 million to $4 million properties and do individual like medical office conversions, repositionings, little multi-tenant stuff. So and here is the thesis behind the world of healthcare. which makes a lot of sense, right? With all the baby boomers right now and the shift to outpatient care, a lot of this stuff in like the post-COVID world sort of accelerated. So a lot of very large groups and smart people see healthcare as recession resistant. And I'll get into some additional details as to why that would be the case. So what is healthcare? It goes beyond just hospitals. That's obviously, the main one that you hear about, and they're extremely, extremely large deals, but there's everything else that has to do with healthcare. So a lot of groups will build medical office buildings, we call them MOBs, that are adjacent to hospitals. And a lot of anyone in the healthcare world usually wants to be next to a hospital because it just brings so much traffic. So there's adjacent uses, even dentists. I mean, there are a lot of specialists and generalists that want to be close to hospitals. There's a very high barrier to entry usually within this asset class. So buildings are designed differently. So one very small example of this is like if you go to an office building and it looks like a traditional office building, the combination of two things usually drive the ability to convert into medical office. And the first one is parking. You normally need a higher parking count, a parking ratio for the building in order to make the conversion successful. And then the other piece is adequate plumbing. So like if you have a slab on grade, and there's no sinks in any of the rooms, it's usually very cost prohibitive to try and convert that to medical office. Whereas if you had crawl space, there were already 3 sinks in individual rooms. Usually they can make that work depending on the specific type of use. And then there's just additional regulatory requirements. I have a friend that works in construction building hospitals in California, and they have this whole different echelon of like requirements and we think building and developing in the city of Portland is difficult. And then you go down and try and build a $2 billion hospital in the city of San Francisco, and it takes literally like 10 years. It's crazy. And then built-in stability, we sort of talked about this a little bit, but long-term, so leases are usually more long-term, and that's because they have to pay more money for the build-out. It's just more expensive, higher cost. They usually have a huge FF&E package. So it just extends longer, and usually that just means a little bit more stability and a little bit more safety. Quickly through this, just proof of capital flow post-pandemic. They've been surging, and then also supply constraints. So building new has also been relatively quiet, and that creates the opportunity. It does create a lot of planning though. Like you do have to plan ahead. So one of the investments that I like a lot is a multi-tenant medical office building that has a lot of those specifics like the plumbing and the parking and things that we've talked about. But you really have to be proactive about leases, because if you lose tenants or tenants don't turn over and you're not active about providing additional TI packages and things like that, it can be a little bit slower to re-tenant than your average. Right? Because think about it, right? Like the number of tenants within that world, you're looking at, people with higher levels of education that have these individual practices versus the number of tenants that exist for office, just in general, right? We talked about this a little bit before in the leasing world, but operator credit worthiness is absolutely huge here. Triple net leases are very, very common. We've talked about those before. That means that the tenant is responsible for everything. And a lot of times in multi-tenant buildings, they'll divide up the expenses from the taxes, insurance, and other things, and then charge that back monthly on top of the rent to the tenants. We talked about that. So 3 questions that matter more specifically in medical office. First one is the radius. So if you're talking to a generalist versus a specialist, oftentimes the radius for their practice, for where their clientele is very different. Specialists, you can look at all of Beaverton usually, or out to Hillsborough into Bethany, whereas generalists usually have, they have more individuals that go to their practice. So they usually have a tighter radius. So a lot of times you'll think that, oh, there's somebody just down the road, they should apply, in this individual office, but they'll be like, oh, our clientele is actually the other direction. So we can't afford to go any further towards whatever downtown here. We talked about this. This is the opportunity, in my opinion. Second gen medical space is huge. And this applies significantly, for example, to like a dentist. Dentists have very specific build outs. They have specific plumbing for the chairs that you sit in that now today all is hidden. You can't really see any of that. So having second gen space can be huge, and it usually affords a little bit of flexibility in negotiations between the landlord and the tenant too. Because of that capital I was just talking about is reduced for the move-in, it allows for you to do maybe a 3 or 4 or 5 year lease instead of a 7, 8, 9 year lease. And then lease structure, we talked about this, but yes, they like to have lots of extensions, options to extend on behalf of the tenant. They just need control. Again, it's a huge investment up front. You need to control for operating expenses and CapEx and all those things. So usually there's attorneys involved with the lease negotiations to look at things like that, so you can be protected. Yes.
What are some of the capital costs to convert to consent?
Oh, massive. You can have an office building. Okay, so example, our now officially old office building down Boots Ferry, that is built out, to a similar quality that we're in right now, right? A great office building. To convert that into medical is probably $200 a square foot. So by the value of that building is probably $500 to $600 a square foot. So like a third of the value is just the cost to convert that building into medical. And again, that is a slab. So like bringing plumbing into all the rooms and everything would just be, and taking the safe out. I mean, that would be a huge cost.
What value add would that bring though to that? Would it make it any more valuable?
Absolutely. But do I think it would make it $200 a square foot more valuable? Maybe. That the benefit to that building, so it is a slab, which would make it more expensive to convert, but the benefit to that building is the parking. So the parking ratio there is high on a per 1,000 count. So if you did have like a dentist that was looking for 3,000 square feet and they were well capitalized and they could make it work, it'd be interesting. But they're asking a stupid number for the building. So. 2.5 million. It's like $1,100 a square foot. It'd be the most expensive building per square foot in like all of Portland Metro. Yeah. Oh. No. Anyways, that was just one example. All right, next. Okay, so in summary, and then we can more questions. It's sort of a defensive by design asset class based on the numbers and things we were talking about, the baby boomers and being recession resilient. At the same time, though, there's if you can make something work and there is a strategy to do a value add play and you have a tenant that is looking, a lot of, we call them tenant in tow plays can be really interesting. They're harder to do because most successful medical users want to own their own building because they can get crazy attractive financing in order to do so, like even zero down situations. So, if you did have somebody that only wanted to lease, that's where a lot of value can come in. And so for us as tenant rep brokers representing tenants in medical, we oftentimes can at least try and get a higher percentage of a fee in that scenario than maybe a traditional office, especially if they have credit. So we talked about that, strategies, everything, thinking, planning ahead, looking at either the portfolio or the individual multi-tenant office and really planning for the leases turning over at different times. If you have a building and all the leases, you have 5 tenants and all the leases end on the same year and you're trying to sell 3 years before then, that's a big red flag. And getting finance, you're gonna have to walk through with the lender very meticulously convincing them that all of them aren't gonna go leave on you. Planning ahead. Any questions?
What is the line between this traditional medicine, medical and the wellness community? In terms of like a commercial category?
I would say that's a great question. I'd say that a lot of people would associate wellness more into the medical office category. However, most of the time, wellness, the actual physical product, is actually closer to traditional office. Does that make sense? Because like most wellness groups, maybe, I don't know about most, but there's There's some that need or would prefer to have like sinks in rooms and things like that. But a lot of times wellness operators can get by with just going into office. And a lot of times it's harder for them to justify, paying $40 a square foot like a dentist can, whereas a wellness operator wants to pay 20. And so that they're looking at traditional office. Any other questions?
So if you have a lot of money.
If you have a lot of money. You don't need a lot of money. You can find medical office.
Apology. You said for us as tenant representatives, meaning you as a commercial division, you don't only help people sell and buy commercial, but you also help do tenant placement or represent tenants.
Yes.
Meaning then, is that a similar commission structure to what, how are you gonna get paid if somebody just rents a space instead of purchasing it?
It would be very similar to the leasing strategy presentation that we gave. So tenant rep makes more than landlord rep, almost always across the board, but especially in the medical world. So if I represented a landlord for a medical office space, let's just say that one was a second gen dental space or old office there, I would be getting probably 2.5% of the gross lease value of that lease, whereas a tenant rep can sometimes get up to 2x, sometimes even more, depending on if there's a national credit tenant or somebody that's going to be signing on the loan, like a corporate guarantee type of thing, like General Dental or something.
Oh.
But yes, we do help anyone in the medical world with lease stuff. So. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, now our very own Nicole is going to show us some cool new things in Canva AI because they just released an update, right? Canva AI 2.0.
Yeah. Okay. So, how many people use Canva on a day-to-day basis? How many people have used Canva AI? What are our thoughts on it? Do we like it?
It's not bad. You integrate it into Claude and then use the API key and just tell Claude to do everything and then make it editable. It makes it.
That's it's a little more advanced for what we're doing today. But I've been messing around. So Canva recently released their 2.0 AI, which has a couple of different upgraded features. So they have different things like coding, web videos, you can make designs. But the thing that made 2.0 a lot better, in my opinion, is they really bolstered out the design element of their AI. And so today I'm just going to kind of go through a couple of use cases where we'll start very basic and then we'll kind of build up to different levels of how you can use the AI. So I didn't want to mess with internet or anything like that. So I basically I prompted the AI and I made projects just to kind of showcase how easy it is to really just make stunning marketing pieces in 10 seconds, right? Where you're not having to get that logo, that logo won't go 2 centimeters left. It's driving you crazy. Just have AI do it. So the first use case I'm going to talk about is just a multi-channel marketing campaign for, let's say it's a new listing, right? So anytime you get a new listing, you're going to want to market it, right? You're going to want to put it on Facebook. You're going to want to make flyers. You're going to want to email it out to your entire sphere. So I know there are title companies and different softwares that will give you those products, but what if you could just do it in 5 seconds for free and you've got every single thing that you need for that multi-channel marketing campaign? So it's as simple as just telling it, create a multi-channel marketing campaign for a luxury 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, mid-century modern home. You guys can read the rest. I'm not going to go through it all, but you basically just tell it what you want. And the one thing I found with Canva AI, more or less is more. So the more constraints you give it, the weirder the product it's going to give you. It's meant to be creative. It's meant to just be let loose on you just give it the bullet points and it'll kind of do what you need it to do. So I just gave it that prompt and it's just going to spit out 4 great marketing pieces, right? So I've got my my Instagram square post. I've got a great flyer just listed. I've got another Instagram square post, flyer, post, and email newsletter header, right? That was 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. I typed in the prompt, it spit out all this stuff at me. And the great thing as well with the Canva AI it knows your brand kit. So if you have your brand kit uploaded, it knows your color scheme, it knows your text, it knows your headshot. So you can tell it reference this specific brand kit. If you don't want a headshot or anything, you just want the KW colors, you can tell it to reference just the KW brand kit. So it's extremely smart at kind of what it does, and it takes maybe a couple seconds to create great marketing pieces. So here's another one where I gave it a little more of a direction on terms of like what I wanted it to say. So this was more so a lead ad graphic targeted at Portland homeowners thinking of selling. So once again, these are just very basic graphics, but you just typed it in and it spit them all out at you. It's very simple, very easy. And like the whole point of today is to showcase how easy it can be to just utilize this stuff. Because me personally, I know I'm kind of struggling with this right now. When Kareem tells me to make a graphic or something, I go straight to searching for a template, and it'll take me 10-15 minutes to find that template. And then I'll have to figure out the color scheme I want with it. I'll have to figure out the pictures. I'll have to figure out the details. When I could have had it done in maybe a minute just by typing all that info in to Canva AI. So,
Sorry.
No, keep going.
I was just wondering, so like, what is the edit capability? So like, if you didn't like something on it, would you physically change it, or would you tell Canva to change?
You could do either. So Canva AI is in every single design that you have. So you can just talk to the AI, say, hey, I don't like this color scheme, completely change this color scheme. Hey, I don't like the picture, how big it is, change that. Or you can just simply go in and change it yourself.
You mentioned you don't have this like extra live right now, but where that's on the space on the user base, you can go and talk AI.
Oh yeah.
The files are in the.
Yeah, so if you're just in Canva, simply just on the left-hand side, this Canva AI right here, you just give that a click. Yeah, you're good. That's a good question. I should have shown where it went, but.
Is it also in free?
Yes, it's also free. So that is another great thing about Canva AI is it does not take tokens. The only thing in Canva AI that takes tokens currently, if you're making videos, that's when it kind of takes tokens on quality, different things like that. But you can generate up to however many images you want a day, and it's all free. And it's good quality, they're good graphics. So I'm just gonna buzz through some of the. What's up?
It done way now.
Okay, so basically, think of a token as like, so if you're doing an image, like if you're on Google Gemini, you want it to create an image for you. Think of a token as like one image. So if you have 5 tokens for that day on your free tier, you're only allowed to make 5 images.
Not like that's the data play. It's like, oh, you pay your limit.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no limits with the Canva AI, and like it's really, really cool. And I'm running a little short on time, so I'm going to buzz through some of the more basic ones, and then we'll get to kind of the ones that I'm nerding out a little bit more on. So this is
and where all these prompts are, because Cole wrote a bunch of really good.
Yeah, I'll show at the very end the QR code. I made a prompt library. I'm going to continue to add to it. It's got some prompting best practices in there as well too. So I'm just trying to make AI as accessible as possible because it is so easy to use and it's so good now. But this is just another really basic one. So this one, I wanted it to be more of a luxury vibe, and it spit out that luxury vibe at me. It looks great. This is another multi-channel marketing campaign where I don't really have to do anything except for just prompt it, and it'll give me all of the content that I need. Perfect. Okay, so another thing that I think is a really good use case of Canva AI is everyone has access to the RMLS market action reports. What you can do is take that market action report, upload it to your Canva AI, and just have it extract that data and turn that data into graphics, specifically targeting either buyers or sellers. And the beautiful thing about this as well too, Canva AI has access to the open web. So you don't have to have a PDF. It'll scan Realtor.com, Zillow, pretty much any credible site online. So let's say you are out driving, maybe you forgot to do your post. You can just pull up your phone, Canva app, Canva AI, say, hey, research. Actually, I have an example of this. Research latest 2026 housing inventory and interest rate trends for Multnomah County. Synthesize that live data and immediate format it into a clean, modern social media post titled Portland Real Estate What Buyers Need to Know This Month. And so we didn't have to input any data. We basically just told it to go grab us that data. and it's going to give us really nice graphics. And the great thing about this as well too, like Kevin mentioned, is you can just edit it yourself. So if you don't like the statistics it's showing you, you can tell it, hey, instead of days on market, I want a different statistic there. Or if you have your own statistic, you can go ahead and plug it in right there. And so I love how it gives it to you in that format that you already are comfortable with, and you know how to edit it, and you know how to change the imagery. But these are like, in my opinion, like I would grab this and I could just post this today. And that's my post for the day, and I feel good about it.
How do you then get that into your templates from Canva?
Your Canva
Templates?
so these are all templates. They're like, it'll essentially create a template for you.
Okay.
And so it will already be in the template section, if that makes sense.
I tried that the other day and I could never find it in my templates.
In your templates? It might be in
Projects.
projects. Yeah, it might be in your projects rather than templates. But let's
Templates, you're actually creating it, turning it into a project, like creating a
Or getting saved.
yeah.
Because think of templates are the ones that Canva provides, so you're creating this as a project.
okay. So the next use case is, what if we don't know what to post? What if I suck at social media. It is not my strong suit. I don't know what to post. And so I use Canva AI. And I basically just prompted it. I'm a real estate agent in Lake Oswego. I want to create a content calendar for the next 3 months. Then I want help creating the content itself. It's currently the beginning of June 2026. I'd like the post to be seasonal. I want to post 3 times a week. 1 lifestyle, 1 market update, 1 miscellaneous. I'm good with carousels. Can you help me with this? And it basically just gave me a 3-month calendar, and it will reference specific events in the area you give it. It'll reference, I'll show you some of the graphics in here. It's really cool. It'll pull in different, like patio, like best outdoor dining spots in Lake Oswego. There's Oswego Grill, Baba Kahan. It'll pull in real information from the web. And obviously some of these you may have to go in and edit it. So like this one's a perfect example. It's got Baba Kahan in there twice. You can just take one of those out, but do you think like that would be an acceptable post? You just post those 3 and it looks good? Yeah, and so it'll give you the entire content calendar, and then it'll also build out all the content for you as well too. So it's going to give you week by week what it is, family friendly. There's trails, there's like first edition. What are you looking for? There's some staging tips as we get in to the summer. Some Lake Oswego parks, hidden gems. It's a full carousel where you can just grab that, download it, and post it. And I just think it's so easy that if you're if you're not using anything, if you're not using an external service or anything like that, just come to Canva AI. It's going to be, it's not perfect. No AIs are perfect, but it's going to give you the exact kind of template you need, and then you can kind of format it from there.
Oh, will it write up, like, could take one of these and say, write a blog post about
Yeah.
this post, and then write a blog post.
Yeah. And the great thing about that as well too, if you have your brand voice in your brand kit, it'll write it in your voice. It'll write it how you want it to say it. So I nerd out on Canva a lot because I love it and it's so easy to use. But this is another great use case where I just came up with 3 months of content in maybe 15 minutes, right? And it's not only going to give me just one, it's going to give me options for what I want to post. And so,
and if you had your brand kit in there with like your colors and like your fonts that you like, you would use those specifically too.
And how many of you knew that Canva can post to your Instagram for you?
Oh, wow.
Yep. So Canva itself has an entire content calendar. So if you just hover over more, click on Content Planner, it's going to bring up the entire calendar, and you're going to just add your event. You basically link your social media accounts. With the last line in every single prompt, you can say, add these to my content calendar and post them. And it'll basically add it to your content calendar. You can come back in, check, make sure everything looks good, and it'll just post it on those days. And so Canva is so integrated with a lot of different tools. I think this is one of its best features where it gives you total control over what you're posting, and you can essentially do your entire post for the year in maybe like 2 days, right?
Wait, Cole, if you put something in your content calendar here, but don't say post, then can you still post it yourself? This just helps you keep organized.
Yeah, you can save it as a draft. Yeah, so you can save it as a draft. So let's say there's a July 4th post that you're running out the door, but you're halfway through making. You can just save it as a draft to post on July 4th, come back in, edit it. Once it's good to go, you can either post it through Canva or you can download it and post it yourself. So there's a lot of different cool things in Canva itself. Okay. This is another fun one. So video. So what I did is I'm not sure who's listing. I think it was Terry Schneider's. Thank you, Terry. But I downloaded some pictures of her listings. It looked really cool. And basically I told Canva AI to make me a promotional video for it. And so you'll notice some of the directional things that I gave it in the prompt won't happen in the video. And that's actually a perfect example of like the more constraints you give it, the weirder and worse the product will be. But all I had to do was just download those 5 pictures. I think it was like 5 or 6 pictures, upload it in here, told it, can you create me a promotional video using these images? And this is what it spit out. Right, it's basic, but it's more than like you would have to download iMovie, you would have to upload images, you would have to do all the overlays and everything like that. This is maybe a minute, so it takes like 1 to 2 minutes. Canva, just a little disclaimer, Canva AI video is a little newer, so they are kind of working on some kinks with it. But this is an example of one, and then I believe I have another one as well too. So I told it to do the same thing, and this is what it spit out. But you kind of get the gist of like, it'll create this very basic videos for you, but as someone that is not like super obsessed with the luxury transition, stuff like that, and that's just not my style. This is something that would be perfect, right? It's gonna give space for links, going to give space for all of that. And all I had to do was download the images, give it a prompt, and it just created that for me. And it also created a couple different variations of it as well too.
So that use tokens, how much, like what is the token situation?
So it not with like the basic, but you'll see when I go into Canva AI and I click on video, it's going to give me a lot of different options down here. So if I want to do like Ultra is going to give more or take more tokens. I'm not sure the exact amount that you have allocated every month. I'm not sure if it's a monthly, weekly renewal, but just the default is going to get, I think it should be free. I think you can do up to, I found the limit of 5 videos a day. But once again, very simple, very easy. And then the last thing I'll show, which is more so, it's kind of, I think this is really cool. This is something I'm kind of honing in a little bit more, but you can make interactive maps with Canva AI. So let's say you have someone who wants to move to Portland, but it's like, I'm not sure what's around there, right? I'm not sure what the parks are, what good food places to eat are. I'm not sure what the sightseeing areas are. And so I just went into Canva. I just told it to create me an open map experience of Portland, Oregon. I told it to model itself after Google Maps interface. And so this is what it gave me, right? Where now, and this is I love this part about it, where let's say we want to go to, we want to eat at Farm Spirit. So if we give that a click, it's supposed to load an image. This is where it's a little, gets a little finicky. But on the left-hand side here now, I told it to reference food blogs to get any pro tips for any like locals only knowledge in Portland. And so it did that, right? So it's going to give the visitor tip, book well in advance, the pro tip. Ask about the forwarders menu. It changes based on what they find that day and isn't listed online, right? So you would never know that if you were just visiting Portland, but these are kind of cool little things that you can, cool touches you can give your clients. There's also, I did one for Lake Oswego that's a little more bolstered out, looks a little more like a website, but it's going to give you the same thing where it's going to give you different areas. It's going to give you high schools. It's going to give you parks. It's going to give you restaurants, shops. And then if you scroll a little bit further down, it's going to talk more about every single area in Lake Oswego. And this was all just through a prompt that I gave it. And then the last one I did was create me a quiz to help someone decide what town they'd like to live in Oregon. I want it to be fully interactive. And so it gave me this, which Oregon town is right for you, right? So I can just take the quiz. Let's say I'm just going to click through some stuff.
So that just come out into like an HTML.
Yep, it's just all HTML code. So you can grab it, post it on another web page, or you can use this as a standalone web page. So I'm going to click through this. If you have a lead capture form on one of these, you can link it to a Canva sheet where essentially it'll basically, just like if anyone's used Google Forms, you can link it to a Google sheet where it's going to record all the responses. When you can do the same thing in Canva. You can just link it to a Canva sheet. It's going to record the responses the same way. But I'm just going to click through this. It's going to say near the ocean, tech, my car, art, and shoot. Tells me Ben, right? And so this was literally a 1-sentence prompt I gave it. But to your clients, this looks like something that you spent hours on, or you spent hundreds or thousands of dollars on, like paying someone to create this for you. 10 seconds. So I think the purpose today was really to show how easy and accessible this stuff is. I'm really, really, really high on like AI and just using it in any capacity of your life, whether it's figuring out what you want to eat, figuring out the best route to take to a destination, or like creating fully interactive maps. Like just integrate it in your life somehow, because it is here and it is going to continue to be integrated in things. And I think if you need to adopt it now, or else you're just going to kind of be left behind, which is the unfortunate thing. But do we have any questions?
Will you show us where you made those prompts, or really?
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is just, I have the prompt guide here, and let me pull up the slide deck again. So basically, one thing I really want to note on here, really quick. AI is only good as your prompts. Please, 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 when you use AI, live by that. It's only as good as you prompt it to be, right? So if you're not getting great results from it, take a look at your prompts. And I just laid out a very easy craft framework of just giving it clear context, giving it a role, giving it an action, what format you want it, and what is the kind of like template. So style, tone, structure. I use this format for every single prompt that I did in here. And it gave me great results. And so, but here is the QR.
Just say something real quick.
Yeah.
Last night I made AI employees and I didn't know what to put in the prompt, and I just told it to build the prompt for me based on what I wanted, and it pulled the prompt out. So if you have trouble building a prompt, you can try, they'll ask you a couple of questions and, get the feel, and then they'll build you a prompt, and then you can test it and see if it works for you.
That's a fantastic point. Use them as a team. Like, don't think of it like just Gemini, just Claude, just this. Maybe Gemini's your ideas assistant. Maybe Claude's your execution assistant. Maybe Canva's your creative assistant, right? You need to create a team around you, right? And so don't just think of them as singular AIs. Use them in conjunction with each other. That's a great shout out.
Mike, if you log into Gemini with your @KW email, you have the Gemini Pro features that you'll be able to access. And then if you log into Canva with your canva.kw.com and your command login, then you have access to all the Canva enterprise features. So it's just like more tools.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing together this library. Any questions for Cole? Cole, you did so well.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
I'm seeing so many posts, and I'm not the best social media person to know this, but everyone's doing the posts like comment whatever to get whatever. So can you do just just Canva help you with the prompts?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but.
So that's basically just like a call to action. It's just to garner engagement, garner more people commenting on your posts. Because now with like the algorithm and everything, it's looking a lot more at comment structure and like comments and like keywords in there. So a lot more people are trying to garner that through their caption. But you can do like you can tell Canva AI just to make you that post and then make you a caption and just say I would like in there, comment below for something. I would like that call to action.
And where I have to manually.
That's an Instagram.
You can get it.
That's
yeah,
Instagram, yeah.
feature. So it's the automatic reply is what you're talking about, right?
Oh, you're talking-
That's
oh,
with
okay.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's better to do than direct them away from Instagram, because Instagram would prefer you keep them there. So
Yeah.
the algorithm will enjoy that more. So the comment is better than like link in bio.
Okay, so I'll set this up on Canva and then on Instagram, do the automatic response. Thanks.
Huge round of applause for Cole. Reminder, grab the new June calendar is out with tons of great stuff. Don't check out for summer and stop doing stuff. Lots of good things starting next week. So here's the June calendar.